can't stand that team. It's just made so much sense. When Tim Tebow signed with the Eagles, I said, holy shit, no wonder. I can't stand that fucking idiot either. He was awesome at Florida. I love that guy in college. I bet the shit out of him. I got to tell you a story about Tim Tebow. The biggest spread I ever seen in my life in a sporting event was on 5 dimes. Actually, there was a bigger spread for college basketball. It was minus. My brother was going to this college, and his basketball team was just new like 2 years ago. And he was telling me that they're going to be playing San Diego State, and there was actually a line on 5 dimes for this game. It was minus 77.5, and because it was a brand new college. It's called St. Catherine. That's where it was at. And St. Catherine versus San Diego State. If you guys want to Google it, I mean, you can check it out. The line was 77.5, and San Diego State ended up winning by like 110, I think. I know it's close to 100. They won by 90 or something. I don't know. Oh shit. Okay, so I just dropped the phone. All right. So that spread. All right. So Tim Tebow, I want to tell you guys, the biggest spread in college football I ever seen was minus 63.5, and it was when Tim Tebow was with the Florida Gators. What the fuck? So Tim, I had a moment there for a second. I was trying to figure out. Tim Tebow was with the Florida Gators. They're minus 63.5 versus some shit team, but they didn't cover, and it was 56-3 final in that game. So yeah, I just like going off the subject on everything, don't I? The question was, how do I think the Cowboys will do this year? And I'm talking about the Eagles, and I get into Tim Tebow, then I get into Florida. So I just need to just try to focus here, because I will talk for the whole 3 hours on this thing if I just ramble on. If I keep rambling on about sports and about, I just love talking sports. I could talk all night, but I don't like Tim Tebow. I liked him at Florida. But yeah, the biggest spread I ever seen, 63.5, and it never covered. That was one of the biggest. I actually took the other way, and I got plus 73.5. Because I figure even 70-0, they don't go to 77 usually. But I ended up winning on a teaser. I did a 10-point teaser on with some other teams, and I remember that day. It was like, man, it was a while back. I remember that day like it was yesterday. Though it was a big spread. So. Yeah, the Cowboys are going to win the division. The Giants and the Giants and the Redskins are not going to do shit. Colt McCoy and Cousins is a better quarterback than RG3. He needs to get out of it. He just needs to quit. He gets his ass whooped too much, and he was on the turf tonight, and it was funny. And it was real funny, actually. I was laughing. And we had the Redskins. That's what's really sad. We were down 3-0, and I'm sitting there watching this quarterback get drilled into the ground and not getting up, and then he turns the ball over also because he's such a fucking joke, and we're looking at a 10-0 deficit. But seems like all the preseason games that I've bet been down early. I mean, have you noticed? We're going down 8-0 and 10-0 recently, but fortunately we've won most of them. We're 5-1 in preseason. But so yeah, to answer your question, the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl, my professional opinion, and the Eagles are not going to win the division, and it's going to be Cowboys versus Packers, and I think the Cowboys will go if it's in Dallas, and I think the Packers will go if it's in Green Bay, honest opinion, and I think either one of those teams, whoever goes there, is going to win the Super Bowl. For the AFC, I really don't know who's going to go for this AFC. I don't think it's going to be the Patriots. I don't think it's going to be the Broncos, though. I think it's going to be. I'm leaning towards the Colts this year. I think it's finally the year Andrew Luck gets there. I think they have the weak division, so they're going to dominate the shit out of the division, and they're going to try. I know they're talking about this already because they have such a weak division. They're going to try to get a number 1 seed. I know they're going to go for it, and I think the Colts are going to win 12 games this year. I've already looked at their schedule and everything. I think they win 12 to 13 games, and I would love to see the Cowboys and the Colts in the Super Bowl. That would be awesome. I'd love to see the Colts versus the Packers. I mean, even if the Broncos make it there, that they're a good team to watch. Peyton Manning going out, it's his last year. So I don't want to see New England. I'm from Boston. I don't want to see New England back there. I'm done. I'm over the top. I like Tom Brady and everything, but I'm over it. He's been to enough Super Bowls. We want someone new. Like Tony Romo would be awesome. It really would be. I dream about shit like that because I was too young last time the Cowboys were in the Super Bowl. So I didn't really know, but if they're in the Super Bowl this year, I'll have one of the biggest Super Bowl parties probably in the world. I don't know. Maybe I'll just want to watch it by myself. As long as I'm around Cowboy fans, like when I went to Texas Stadium, when I went to Arlington, when I was there, man, it was just like heaven. That's where I need to be. I'm going to get out to a game this year, definitely. I'll drive out there. It's a 20-hour drive or whatever. We'll fly. It doesn't matter. I hate flying, so I'll probably take a 3-day trip or something. I'll just drive out there, and I want to go to the Cowboys versus the Packers. I believe it's in Dallas, and I know for a fact that it's New England's coming into Dallas also, so I was looking at that. And Washington always comes in, and Philadelphia always comes in. I want to get out to one of those games this year. Last year it was just so fucking awesome. I went to one game last year, and it was amazing. And of course I spent fucking $800 on a front row ticket, but it was worth it. I didn't bring nobody with me. I went by myself. I wasn't going to pay $800 for another fucking ticket. I've already done that. I've been to the Fiesta Bowl. The Fiesta Bowl tickets were $600 for front row. I've been to the Fiesta Bowl the last couple of years. I go to sporting events a lot. If you guys want to know, somebody should ask me about that. I love going to sporting events. Baseball, I haven't really been to any sport. Baseball, I went to some spring training games earlier this year. I did. Where did I go? Chicago. No, when I was in Chicago, I stopped, but I didn't go to the game. I don't think I've been to any baseball games this year. Isn't that sad? But yeah, we stopped at. I remember I was in Chicago a few months ago. We went to Soldier Field. Stopped there, and Wrigley Field. That's what it was. Wrigley Field. I was trying to think. I was thinking Kaminsky Park. I don't even think Kaminsky Park even exists anymore. But Wrigley Field. It's right there on Clark Avenue or whatever it was. It's funny. I have a family member named Clark, and he's gay, and we were on Clark Avenue, and there was a popcorn place called Nuts on Clark. And it was really funny because he's gay, and it was called Nuts on Clark. I think it was funny. So, yeah, unfortunately, I do have a gay family. No, I'm just kidding. It's not unfortunate. I do have a gay family member, and, his friends stay away from me, and he knows that. Or, anyways, so, yeah, that was a good little joke there. Back to this list. Who the fuck wrote this list? Mark, your handwriting sucks. What? Did you go to fucking... Alright. Who is your top 5 QB in the NFL? That's not your... I don't know what that says. Alright, top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. I already said it earlier. Nobody heard me because the podcast wasn't going. The Cowboys, Tony Romo is number 4 on my list. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, top 3, and then Tony Romo, I think. And then you can throw a bunch of other quarterbacks in the mix for your top 10. I mean, Roethlisberger's got to be up there. He's kind of old, and I think he's out of his prime. He's been out of his prime for a couple of years. I still don't know about Roethlisberger. I don't like Pittsburgh, so... but I don't have a problem with Roethlisberger. I just don't know if he has anything left in the tank, just like Peyton Manning. But Peyton Manning, you got to put him up there as an elite. Tannehill's good. Dalton, TCU or Cincinnati Bengals. Dalton, he's a good quarterback. Just thinking, I could pull it up, but I don't need to pull it up. Wilson. He's decent. Kaepernick's decent. There's a bunch of quarterbacks that I could think of. Kaepernick's definitely not top 10. RG3's not top 10. So yeah, I got top 4, and Romo's definitely in the top 4. Stafford's a good quarterback. I'm not going to put Jay Cutler in there. Jay Cutler is trash. I really think Jay Cutler's trash. Let's see. Let me think. Sam Bradford. I think he'll be. I think he's top 10. I think Sam Bradford's a good quarterback. And I think the Eagles will do good. I just don't like them, but I think they'll win 9 or 10 games. The Eagles will win 9 or 10, but the Cowboys are still going to win that division. Who do you think will win the Heisman? Here's the question I was waiting for. I like Everett Golson for Florida State. He's a transfer from Notre Dame, and I like him a lot. He was in the national championship game versus Alabama a few years ago, and I had Alabama in that game, and they blew him out. But Everett Golson is a really good quarterback, and I think he's going to do good things for Florida State. Florida State's going to go far with this guy. I like him. I like Everett Golson. He's not my Heisman winner, but he's going to be in the top 5, I think. And he's a sleeper, definitely, because he's not talked about. Most people probably don't even know he's on Florida State. So now you know. And for Ohio State, I mean, they got guys that are just stacked over there, all those quarterbacks. And Braxton Miller's a wide receiver now. So Jones is going to be there, but I don't think he's going to win the Heisman. I don't even have him in my top 5. I know he did good things last year and they won it all. But I'm giving you my top 5. I like Kevin Hogan from Stanford. I think he's a great quarterback. Let's see here. And that's top 5. I'm going to go outside the top 5. I'm going to name a few guys right now that I like that are not in my top 5 but have potential that are quarterbacks. Dak Prescott, he's decent. Watson from Clemson. Hackenberg from Penn State. I really like Hackenberg, but Penn State's been horrible the last couple of years. Keaton from Utah State. He had that injury, but he's back. And Keaton's a good quarterback. Marquise Williams from North Carolina. They're opening up against South Carolina. Marquise Williams is a very, very good quarterback, and that no one's ever heard of. Gunnar Kiel from Cincinnati. He's been around a little bit, and he's a good quarterback. Taysom Hill from BYU. And Jared Goff from California. He's a very good quarterback also. So those are the guys outside my top 5 for Heisman. And like I already said earlier, Golson and Kevin Hogan are up there. Connor Cook from Michigan State, definitely another guy that I would consider putting some money down on the prop. I don't know if I can pull up the prop bets right now. I can check it out in a minute. He's definitely up there. Boykin, obviously the front runner, but I like Boykin and everything. I think TCU is going to be strong and in the top 4 and everything, but I don't think he's going to win the Heisman. Kessler from USC, I like USC a lot this year, and I think Kessler is going to be in the top 3 for Heisman. And I have a sleeper guy that no one even probably even heard of. I watched this guy get recruited out of high school. I just heard a lot of stuff about this guy. If you pay attention to recruits and stuff like that, like I do, and you watch him, or like last year I watched this guy, and he tore it up, and no one's really heard of him, but he's one of the best, and I think he's a sleeper, and I think he's going to win the Heisman this year. So go bet him if you can get a good number on him. And I'll give you his name. He's a running back for the LSU Tigers, and it's his name is Leonard Fournette. And check him out. He's a beast. The guy he's a sophomore this year, and he can run, and he's got power, and he's 100% NFL ready right now. And I'm surprised he didn't go in the NFL. So just look out for LSU because of this guy. I'm over the whole Alabama jump on the Roll Tide. They should have won it last year. They should have won it a couple. They should have. Ever since that Auburn play, Alabama really hasn't been the same. I don't like them anymore. So, Florida State, and then last year, Ohio State. I mean, Alabama should have been there, and they should have won it a couple different times. But anyways, Alabama will be there. But I think LSU is going to fight them for that SEC, and I like LSU. And I like this running back, so that's my pick for the Heisman, and that's it for the questions. And I got a text from John saying sorry. Yeah, it's cool, man, but it just doesn't make any sense. Because because I texted him and I said,